What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another show, The Officer Tatum Show. Make sure you follow us on the podcast network. Anywhere where you find your podcast, any of your favorite podcasters, your boy is on there. We just started trying to upload these to the podcast network. Thank you guys for joining. Y'all told me y'all wanted me to come on at 6 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard. So y'all better show up and show out. And when you come into the live, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I appreciate it. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. I told you guys before we ever started, but let me let a couple people get in real quick. But I got a couple announcements to make while y'all filtering in. The young man that was at the high school, his name is Myron, young guy who was standing up for himself, standing up for conservative values against all the lunatics at his school, even the teacher. We've been able to raise money for him. We're at $6,000 right now that we've raised for him. If you want to support, we'll put the link in the description section. If you want to support the young guy, I really want to give him and his family a really good present for Christmas. So now that I got that out there, a few of you guys have gotten in. Hit the like button. I love to see more likes than views at this point. Now, let's get right into it. Karoline Leavitt, I told you guys before that she was probably going to be picked as the press secretary. And the reason that I knew that, not because I'm the smartest man in the world, is because she was already the spokesperson for the Trump campaign before he got into office. And Donald Trump is a loyal individual. He's loyal to people who are loyal to him. I think Karoline Leavitt did an incredible job as his spokesperson. And obviously she got the job as press secretary. I think she's going to do an incredible job. For those of you who don't know much about her, and I told you right now, she served the campaign national press secretary. And she previously served in Trump's White House as an assistant press secretary. And she's 27 years old, young, fiery, beautiful. You add all those things in, she will make an incredible press secretary. And it's going to be very difficult for them to push back against a young lady like her who's smart and quick. All of those things that she have and embody is really, really good for Donald Trump to have. Now, normally in his term, he go between 1 to 2. I mean, everybody goes with 2 press secretaries. So the question is, after Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary, who he's going to go to next? Let's play a clip of Karoline because you guys may not know how fiery she is, how good she is on television, and how much they hate her, right? And it's funny because it's easier for a woman to be in a position like this because the more you talk trash to her and be disrespectful, it's embarrassing to be disrespectful to a young woman. It just is. Now, they put a woman up against a woman, maybe, just maybe, they can get away with it. But any men in the press that's going to object to things that she say in a disrespectful way are going to look bad. And I mean real bad. Roll the clip.
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently, frequently liked President Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf, I am willing to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
You want to talk about violence?
Hold on a second. That woman was literally out of breath. She was so flustered at trying to cut off Karoline Leavitt. She was flustered. That's embarrassing. You're on television and you got to be so emotionally invested into a person's opinion that you get flustered and your speech start crackling. And what an embarrassment. Roll the clip.
Against political opponents. Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to Hitler, one of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts on President Trump's life that by the grace of God, he was able to escape and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney, have got this country into is not political violence. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
Yet, of course, after those attempted assassination attempts on the former president's life, his opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political violence. That has been a key difference. I do want to play you.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016 because people don't trust the media and they're not buying the Harris campaign's closing argument that he's some great threat to our democracy because they lived under him for 4 years as president and our democracy and our country was stronger than it is today.
Boom. Somebody dropped the mic, the proverbial mic. If she had a mic, if she had an earpiece, the piece right here, she need to go drop it just like that. I think she's amazing. I love how she stands up against the mainstream media. It's funny because this time around, Donald Trump is getting rock stars and putting them into place. He's getting people that are no nonsense, that are MAGA to the core. And this is the type of stuff that we need moving forward to continue to bludgeon them to sleep. And I'm speaking in the sense of not physical, because YouTube will be mad at me. I don't know my people on Rumble love what I'm saying. But I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about verbally putting these people to sleep, legislatively putting these people to sleep because they deserve it. They lied to us, they deceive us, and now it's come back to bite them in the rear end, in the hind parts. And I love that Caroline Leavitt was one of his picks. Now, people have made mention, and it's out there. I mean, Donald Trump and his team has to address this, is people are questioning why is there not more black people assigned to the cabinet? Now, I'm going to address that here in a second. I want to say thank you to Watts for the $50 super chat, and I'll get to your super chats for everybody else to super chat in 1 second. I think that it would be in Donald Trump's best interest to make sure that there's proper representation of Hispanic and black people in his cabinet and in positions of authority in his administration. Why? Because we don't play identity politics, but we believe in identifying with politics. You've had one of the biggest turnouts of Hispanics ever in the history of the Republican Party. You've had the biggest shift in black voters. I think probably Donald Trump is one of the greatest presidents that have gotten more of the black male vote than anybody in history. And so, I mean, he's one of them. I think Reagan may have gotten a little more, but Donald Trump has done a significant job, and he's gotten a tremendous amount of black support. I think that there are good, qualified black people that can be in positions of power. You don't have to get a DEI hire. You can get people who are legitimately, that have the ability to legitimately serve. I think that will be in Trump's best interest, right? Because then we have a battlefield that we can articulate and show representation that not every black person is a raging Democrat, and not every blue-haired devil has the power over what we have going on our side. There's a whole bunch of people that love Trump that are Hispanic. There's a whole bunch of people that are black. Now, I'm going to say a whole bunch of people that are black. Let me not lie to y'all right now. The black people are still struggling. They still, from way back then, they still struggling to get it right. But I would like to see more of African-American representation. I'm trying to think, could there be a African-American person as a press secretary? That would have been a really good job. But Caroline Leavitt has been very loyal, and she's been doing a good job in that position already. Some people say Candace Owens could be the press secretary. I think that job for Candace Owens is kind of a small feat for how big she is and how she got so much other stuff going. It probably would be difficult to put her in that position. But I do think that we should get more articulate people of different backgrounds to have representation in the Trump administration. Just my opinion. You know, do I care? No, not really. I mean, I just want the best person for the job to be in the position. But I do think that the having a variety shows the Democrats that we're not one-dimensional and that it's not a bunch of white supremacists, because it's very difficult to call somebody misogynistic if you have a bunch of women serving in places where women have never served in, meaning his chief of staff. I think that's the first female chief of staff ever in the history of the country. And so if you have other black people being in leadership positions, and when they get to running their mouth, the Democrat Party, and saying he's not the party of racism, it's kind of hard to call a black person a white supremacist, although they attempt to do it all the time. But it's very difficult for it to land on the American people. Now, some people think that Ben Carson should probably go back. I haven't seen him be selected. I think Ben Carson should be able to retire at this point. The man has served for a very long time and has done an incredible job. I wish that Thomas Sowell was a little bit younger, because Thomas Sowell is obviously getting up in age. I would love to see Thomas Sowell be a part of the cabinet, because he's probably one of the smartest economists to ever live. Byron Donalds is one that people are putting out there. I think Byron Donalds will be one that can be in the Trump administration and do well. Now, the question is, would he be in trouble, or would we be in trouble in Florida for someone to take his position? I don't think so. I think Florida is going to forever be a red state. It's not going to ever be close ever again. Larry Elder would be good in Trump's administration as well. I think Larry Elder is incredible. So I think we can start playing some diversity inside the Trump administration. I don't think it's missed on Trump or his team. I just think that there's not a lot to pick from, generally speaking, given the fact that most black people are Democrats, and most black people in political positions are Democrats. Tim Scott will be a good pick. Somebody mentioned Tim Scott. Tim Scott is a career politician. I mean, he's been a senator, I don't know for how many terms. I think Tim Scott will be really good as well. Colin Noir, right? Somebody mentioned Colin Noir. Colin Noir been a part of the gun community for a long time. He's been an activist in the community. He puts out really good videos. They're very informative. I think he's absolutely phenomenal to have some type of position or some type of connection or some type of, I would say, consulting position. You know, there's a lot of people that have some pretty significant credentials that could do some great things. All right, let's get to the next subject I want to talk about. Let's talk about RFK. Now, here's the biggest lie that I've heard spewed about Robert F. Kennedy. And I think he should be able to sue people for this. They claim that he's a vax denier. Everything that I've heard from Robert F. Kennedy suggests that he just wants them to be held accountable to the same rigor as all of the other drugs that are being produced in the market, and for them not to have complete amnesty against injury. They should be held to the same standard. If you go out and put a drink or a drug on the market and people get hurt, there's a class action lawsuit. There's lawyers right now ready to defend you in suing these companies. And I don't want to say malpractice, but suing these companies for them not having the legitimate care to make sure that you're safe in taking a product. When it comes to these, they're not regulated to that extent, and people are injured. They don't want to track the injuries. They don't want to report on the injuries, and they are absolved of being held liable for people that are having legitimate fallouts from taking stuff that's not even certified, in my personal opinion. So let's play a couple clips of RFK. I think we have a clip of RFK, Mayor Adams talking on The View about Robert F. Kennedy. And then we're going to show Van Jones, and then we're going to show Scott Jennings, obviously defending RFK. Let's roll the cackling hens. the dumb amongst us, the Five Stooges, Lukey, Dookie, and them. Roll it.
So you heard us talking about RFK Jr. being the head of HHS. What do you think about that appointment?
The executives will nominate and bring in those who they believe will move their vision forward. And everything from the fluoride issue, I believe we should have fluoride in the water based on what my experts are telling me. But let's be clear, we have a real problem with our food in our country. And we need to watch what we're feeding our children. And
what is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones. You know, many people know my, you know, I almost lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I would be blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes. And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
But JFK Jr. RFK Jr. ate some pork and now he has a brain worm. Is he the person that should be in charge of that?
Yeah, well,
Right.
Why they making fun of RFK? Right. They say they cannot be honest about this, because if it was an advocate on a Democrat ticket that was saying that we need to clean up our health, this is the thing. They try to act as if this man has to be a food scientist for 25,000 years before he can serve. The man has common sense. All you have to do is say, I want these Fauci ouchies regulated properly. That doesn't take, you don't have to be a genius to understand that. The person that they got in there now is a lunatic. I mean, the person is suffering from mental illness, and they're over the health administration of this country. And then they obese. The dude think he a girl, and he's fat. And that person is qualified to be over. It is insane to me. Robert F. Kennedy is in great shape for him to be in his 60s. I think his late 50s, 60s. He's in great shape. Maybe he knows something you don't know. There's nobody on planet Earth that thinks that we are serving our communities. He's 70. God dang. Homeboy's 70. Give me a picture of that food that's in there right now. What's that food name? We'll show a picture, and you tell me, find a picture of RFK and that food compared to each other. Like, I'm sure somebody got a picture out there of them too. So they got a fool in there right now. Nobody on planet Earth should be arguing about the regulation and health of our food sources. These companies literally make the same candy, the same sodas, the same processed food. Some of them are banned in other countries. But they make similar things for other countries, Fruit Loops and cereal and stuff, for other countries, and they take out the red 40 and all the dyes and all the chemicals that are killing us. When you go to other places, you will find that as you eat, and the portions are smaller, but you can eat big portions in these other countries, and you start losing weight. You feel better. Why can't they do that in America? Who wouldn't want that to happen in America? These same people that are about the environment and health, if Republicans were saying we don't care about food, they'll care about food. That's how silly these people are. So let's pop on here. Let's just go to the Google search, and we'll just look at it through the Google search. So let's just go on the Google search and show you. Just make it full screen. Don't click on that because it takes you to Facebook. We'll just go right here, make it full screen, and then we'll show you guys what we're looking at. It's not going to full screen? All right. I think that everything up there is fine. They're not disclosing any personal information. So let's put this on the screen real quick. Just 1 second. All right, we'll put this on the screen real quick. Tell me when you're ready. All right. I'm not trying to be funny, bro. I'm not trying to be funny, bro. But what the flying flip is going on here? What is this? What is this? Can we make this bigger? Let me see if let me go to one of these other clips. I want y'all to look at this. I mean, let me click on this, see what it do. Look at, hold on. You got to sign in? Oh, these people must be crazy. All right, let's go back here. Let's just make this a little bigger. How about we do that? Y'all getting it? Y'all getting a live experience. We're gonna make these pictures a little bigger. Close this. Hold on a second. My mouse will work. We'll close this, and we'll make some of these pictures a little bigger. This is the man that they got up here. Woman, according to YouTube, but for my people on Rumble, it's a man. This is who they got up here. You talk about qualifications. This is a 45-minute stroke. That means in any 45-minute period, this person gonna have a stroke. Teeth bad. Look like a predator. Look like this person drive one of them vans with that sliding door on there and no windows. That's what it look like. They're gonna pull up and pull your kids in the van. And they're trying to say RFK not qualified. I mean, you gotta not care about your health, mental or physical health, to end up looking like this. I'm just keeping it real. Why can't I be honest? I'm just keeping it real. All right, go back. And they're gonna try to tell us that RFK has no qualifications. It's crazy how they're shaming the people who are trying to do us right. Now, let me go back to your boy, the mayor, who they're going to try to put in prison, and Trump is going to have to try to pardon him. Let's go back to the mayor and see what he has to say, because Sunny Hostin, with her head way up her rear, is going to try to combat the things he's saying. Wrote a clip.
Let's understand this also. In all of these agencies, there are thousands of employees and experts that understand these topics, and there are rules, there are regulations.
Mayor, a lot of them want to resign. When they see some of the people that are going to be on top, I think there's going to be a mass exodus of people who have the institutional knowledge and the institutional memory in DOD, well, I would hope so, at HHS, who wants to work under our cook.
And let me respond to that. If we love our country, then no one individual should take us away from our mission.
Yes.
If you dedicated your life to a particular place, I dedicated my life to law enforcement. So if a new commissioner came in that I disagreed with, I was not going to say, I'm going to resign. Let's love the country. Let's love our cities. Let's get away from the rhetoric of the professionalism that we know. Those are experts in this. They're going to look at his proposal, do a real analysis, and make these decisions. It happens every day.
Shouldn't he have a background at least? He should have some kind of background in this type of thing.
Let me just...
Yeah.
Okay, so, Mayor, when Trump returns to office, he will actually have a lot of power with the Republican-controlled Senate and House. He's suggested at times using the National Guard to target the enemy within, and key members of his last administration called him a fascist. But you've defended him. Can you explain?
No, I defended the rhetoric that we're using across our country and what our children are listening to and what we're doing. We've reached a point in this country where we no longer want to engage in conversation. They were even calling him Hitler. That's an insult.
That was only his vice president.
That was an insult. That was an insult to the millions of Jews and others who died. We know what Hitler did. Mm-hmm. And what I said to our country, when I'm on the streets talking to my young people who are protesting on college campuses, wearing Hamas signs and calling for the destructions of groups, I said, we have to bring down this rhetoric. We have to start engaging in conversation. You know, Obama said it right, and I agree. This is not the divided state. This is the United States. We're the greatest country on the globe, and people are watching us and name calling.
But do you think Trump should have brought down the rhetoric? Because
everybody should.
Well, let's start at the top then, because maybe it trickles down.
He's not at the top. Donald Trump is not in office yet. It's funny because Mayor Adams is actually making sense on this show, and these hens are falling apart at the idea that a man will speak common sense. This is what make women look bad, and not the women that are watching this, because all of y'all are perfect. Y'all have never done anything wrong. I'm talking about the one that's watching somebody else live stream, your friend over there that refused to watch the Officer Tatum show. Like, this makes women look bad. Not one woman on this panel has common sense. They put the man on the panel, and he is reasonable. You cannot call Trump Hitler. Everybody knows what that guy did. Hyped up on coke or whatever, meth or something he was doing, twitching at the Olympics, twitching. You see what he did to the Jewish people. Donald Trump and no president is anywhere near that guy. It's not, even the Democrats, as bad and as crazy as they are, none of them would ever be that guy. They may want to be. If you ask me, they want to be more than they claim Trump is, but they'll never be that guy. But they call him that every day. A threat to democracy. They talk about somebody with experience. What experience does Pete Buttigieg have in transportation? What does Pete Buttigieg have? Or Buttigieg, whatever his name is. What does he have as far as experience? What experience does Kamala Harris have that's associated to being a vice president of the United States of America? And then if you add experience and you say this person was in politics, they suck. So that should tell you that you can be in politics so long that you're stupid, that you don't have any common sense, that you detach from the American people. Roll the clip.
Everybody should. Everybody should.
All right. We got some more clips to play associated to this RFK argument. You comment in the comment section, Nick, if you can, put a poll up there and we'll see what people think about RFK. Do you agree with him or do you not agree with him? We'll put a poll and see what you guys think about it. But I think RFK is a great person for the job. You know, a lot of people voted for him. A lot of people supported him until he got behind Donald Trump, and then they like, he's a kook. Well, we finna find out. Wait till that rubber hit the road. Wait till Donald Trump start getting these people certified and put in these positions. And when the country start changing and people begin to be healthier and the economy comes back strong and people are held accountable and we get these illegals that are committing crimes out of our country, the American people are going to see the contrast between a Democrat leadership and a Republican leadership. All right, let's get to the next clip. We have a clip of Van Jones. You know he got to toe the line. The milk dud with glasses himself. Van Jones, I wish that somebody can summons his cell phone. Not really, but I'm saying if only you could see what he's probably telling his friends and family, you would probably recognize that Van Jones is probably one of the fakest people on television. He got caught in the elevator by Project Veritas not too long ago when they were doing the Russia thing, and he said it was a nothing burger. Van Jones know Donald Trump is not a bad guy. We all know what the deal is. Roll the clip.
He kind of was going out publicly contradicting Howard Lutnick and saying, Trump has told me I can get essentially whatever I would like in this administration.
I don't know what you want me to say. I am just at a loss because we're watching something happen in slow motion that is terrifying. You know, the reason we have a great country is because there are pillars in place. There are columns and structures, just like in your house, columns and pillars that you don't see, but they keep things in a good place. They keep things in a good direction. We have healthy children because there are people who've made sure that there are things in place for that. And right now we're seeing termites unleashed on everything. And this is a termite appointment. We know for sure that Bobby Kennedy is a vaccine denier. He's a vaccine denier. He denies being a denier, but he is a denier. And he is going to do great harm. And when you drive down trusted institutions, democracy only works in a high trust environment. When you make everything political, when you make everything negative, when you cast doubts and aspersions, eventually people have to rely on strong men. And so we're in a process right now that's just heartbreaking. And, it turns out that Donald Trump wasn't telling the truth when he said he wasn't for Project 2025. And that guy on your show wasn't telling the truth when he said that Bobby wouldn't get HHS.
All right. Robert F. Kennedy wrote a book about this. He wrote a few books. The Real Anthony Fauci is one of the books he wrote. But Robert F. Kennedy has written books about this stuff. How is a man not qualified if he's qualified enough to narrate or to orchestrate a book that explains all of the things that he's saying. How is he not informed enough? We know. I don't know why I'm talking to the choir. We all know that they're full of crap. These people have no spine, no backbone. They have no legitimacy. They just want to oppose. And this is why they lost the election, because they're out of touch with reality. People want to see, okay, what is Bobby Kennedy going to do? How well is he going to give the man a chance? He still got 1 million votes, almost 1 million votes in this election, and he was on Trump's ticket, pretty much. And he got independently. He got almost 1 million votes himself. There's 1 million people in this country that love him enough that they didn't vote for Kamala, they didn't vote for Trump, they didn't vote for Stein. They voted for him, even though he said vote for Trump. So you guys are completely missing what the world has seen from Robert F. Kennedy. He's going to do, in my opinion, the work of God by working with helping us become a healthier nation. You have never seen a Democrat. We'll put that other clip up there real quick. We have never seen a Democrat advocate for the health of America, to call out the foolishness of putting stuff in our water that they shouldn't, that are turning the frogs gay. Robert F. Kennedy said, Alex Jones said 100 years ago, and everybody laughed at him. But putting that fluoride in the water and different things that they're doing, yeah, it may be, listen, it may be a necessity for some of it because of certain environments and situations, but that stuff needs to be checked. It needs to be verified. It needs to be articulated to the American people so we can feel confident that our drinking water and the water that we're taking a bath in is not completely composed of chemicals that's hurting us slowly but surely. I mean, the government won't do no work. Look at Flint. That's not the federal government, but look at how they can have an entire city where the water is undrinkable and people are getting sick. Where's the regulations? They don't care, man. These people ain't worried about you. They'll let you die with that stinky water. Let's look at Scott Jennings defending RFK, which is one of the only voices on television, or at least these mainstream media outlets that actually have common sense and will defend a Republican. Roll the clip.
If we're being intellectually honest, there's really no good reason why Bobby Kennedy, RFK Jr., should be HHS secretary. An advisor, a confidant, somebody who talks to the president and advises, but there's no managerial experience in his resume. There's nothing that says he is qualified to do this job that is in charge of the health of all of us, all these different lanes. If he has views and has insights around food sources, around vaccines, then those should be given in advisory roles.
Why?
Now, okay, let's just say his premise is correct. Then explain to me, what does the HHS director do? If Bobby Kennedy is telling him, I advise you to do this, 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 and this, and this, and look into this, then what is the HHS secretary doing? What is his job? To roll out what Bobby Kennedy told him to do? What y'all talking about? These people are so disingenuous and they're lying to you because they want you to believe that somehow Robert Kennedy or Bobby Kennedy is like talking to every single person in the entire country that deals with health directly, every person that's under his tutelage, that he's talking to them directly. He's making every decision on everything that ever existed when it comes to health in the country. No, there's programs and things that already exist. There's people who lead those programs, and they come to the director and say, look, this is the way our water source is done. This is the way it is. And he can say, we need to verify that. How much money are we spending to help make this a better thing? Why don't we regulate? What regulations are in place for food in this country? Why can they sell something different to another country and they sell us the garbage? We want to change that. We want to create a mandate. We want to sign it into law, whatever the case may be. That's what that position is. It's a leadership position where you are pulling the strings in pillars and organizations that already are functioning right now in the government. Roll it.
Well, what were the qualifications of the previous ones?
Well, I think it's important to always remember that you put yourself. Say that again?
What were the management qualifications? I mean, Xavier Becerra.
I'm not talking about the previous. I'm looking forward.
But you're calling into question whether he could actually do this job, and I think it's
absolutely. I think America is now, and I think
it's important to discuss it because Xavier Becerra was just a lawyer and a politician with no management experience.
So does two wrongs make a right?
Sylvia Burwell was a Walmart lobbyist. Donna Shalala was a university person. Look,
RFK Jr. is a nut.
Okay, so that's different than what you just said. You just said he doesn't possess the requisite managerial experience, but then we get to the real issue here, which is you want to insult the man, which is your right to do because you opposed him in the election. But you, Doctor, are raising the issues that he has been raising, and I think they're appropriate questions to raise. I don't know whether he can be confirmed or not. The vaccine stuff at the table is obviously going to be the flashpoint of this hearing. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you one thing. This whole issue of the CDC and these public health agencies, look, public trust in the health regime in this country is as low as it's ever been.
But why?
It's because of COVID.
Right.
Because of school closures. Because of mask mandates. Because this country was... But let me just finish. Because this country was drugged through a bunch of condescending and heavy-handed mandates that all turned out to be garbage, and that's why it's low, and the questions are valid.
And RFK is the answer to all of that.
Yeah, but RFK helped promote the...
You see how they team up on him? A bunch of arrogant, pompous, leftist, out-of-touch fools look at the man with intelligence and integrity and have done his research, and they mock him and they laugh at him as if he's the one that's wrong. They said Bobby Kennedy doesn't have the managerial qualifications to be in this position. Yet he went through every single person that have held his position and said, what were their qualifications? None of them had managerial qualifications either. But he's a nut. He's a kook. Oh, okay. Now you insult the man. You don't have any merits to what you're saying, so you want to give an insult. Andre, thank you for the super chat. And then now that he's saying, the American people have spoken. This is one thing that I think they're missing, and we should all understand and be in lockstep about. When Trump is elected, it's not because Trump want to be elected, meaning that he chose himself that I'm going to be the president. It's because the people voted for him to be the president. They wanted what comes with Trump. They wanted him campaigning about having RFK as the HHS director. They wanted it. The people want it. These fools want what they want. They don't want what the people want. The people have spoken. They do not trust the current government, or they would have reelected them. And they would have had Levine and these other nut jobs running HHS. But the people said enough is enough. We through with y'all. The way y'all handled COVID, the way y'all did mask mandates, kicking people out of their job because they didn't get and that thing wasn't even FDA approved for the longest. And then all of a sudden today, it don't matter. You go to university right now, the professor can give you or not, and it doesn't matter. You can travel, it doesn't matter. You can eat at a restaurant, it doesn't matter. But literally last year before last, it was the end of the world if you decided to make a decision because it was your body and your choice. Ain't it funny that the my body, my choice people only believe in it when it's a baby in the womb, but they don't believe in your body, your choice when it comes to somebody sticking you with a drug that's not even a vaccine. It's a pharmaceutical technically because it's not vaccinating you from anything. If anything, it's mitigating things. It's not preventing anything. Now, people with common sense understand that. Roll it.
The assault on the CDC that lowered the disinformation that led to more than a million deaths, Scott. More than 1 million deaths in the United States, higher than any other industrialized nation per capita. That's the result of failed policies. The demonization of the conspiracy theories.
Whose policies?
All right, under the Trump administration.
John,
Whose policies? Trump did not have his own policy position. Trump relied on Fauci. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on. We finna say it. Trump relied on Fauci. We were peed off at him for letting that fool get up there and talk every time during the pandemic and say, you got to wear the mask, hold it down, don't touch your face, wear it here, wear it around your head, wrap it around your neck. Three of them is better than two. Two is better than, like we saw them roll that out. The 2 week to slow the spread recommendation was Dr. Fauci and the CDC. Every single state had their own ability to do whatever they wanted to do. Donald Trump just made recommendations. He can't tell a state they have to shut down. He made a recommendation. People complied. Then he made a recommendation to open. Some didn't. Others did. Where was his recommendation coming from? Robert Kennedy? No. It was coming from Fauci. It was coming from the government. These bureaucrats that are running these particular positions, this is where they came from. And then when it fails, they want to blame Trump and not the person who was giving guidance. So why not have a person who got common sense in that position of power? Let me take a quick break to give some shout out to some super chats real quick, and then we're going to do a commercial break for the Tatum store. So do not leave. Hold the phone. Hit the like button. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'm going to run through them real quick because I appreciate everybody that support. Douglas, thanks so much for joining Tatum Squad. Watts, thank you for the $50 super chat. Various crazy, I think it maybe say people. Hello, have some money. I voted Trump in Arizona after 30 years of being a Democrat. The left has gone wild. Inflation, immigration, identity politics flipped me. I doubt that I will ever vote for Democrats again. And I think that every reasonable person is agreeing with you. Outback says, I've been watching from Australia. Trump's second win was prophetic. It was called in 1990. I knew he would win. He's the best thing for our country. Too long now Arizona has been an embarrassment. 1,000%. Let's see. AR, thanks so much for Super Chat. Are you going to fight Soulja Boy in season 5? I don't know what that means. Let's go. Free Thinker. Love the live stream format. Be Tatum. I appreciate it. We're working on doing better and better. Rachel looks like Miss Foul from Jimmy Neutron. Andre, thanks so much for the $20 super chat. I consistently go to Europe, and when I go, they always eat more and drink than do when they're here. And not only do I never get the itis when I eat in Europe, but when I come back, I lose about 11 pounds simply off of just food. Let's see. James, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, Tatum, hope all is well. Keep doing good work. I don't understand why these people are so disingenuous, and yet Trump isn't even in office yet. Crazy. Andre, thanks so much for another super chat. RFK, the absolute truth. Trump is unequivocally doing the things and getting all the right people in the right places, and he's not even wasting any time until he goes into office. 100%. Let me tell you the difference between Donald Trump and other fools. I would say other people who are fools. Donald Trump is not even in office yet and he's getting things done. He's meeting with foreign leaders. He's hiring the right people in the right places. These fools want to tell you while they were in office that if you elect them again, they were going to do something special. Donald Trump ain't even in office and he's doing stuff special. They couldn't even do nothing special while they're in office while running to get reelected. All right, let me tell you guys about Tatum Store. We got a crazy sale going on. I do want you guys to get the other products as well. People are buying this stuff right now. I think this maybe I vote for the felon is one of those sales. 80% off, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this until we run out of all these products. And some of them are already gone. So I'm sorry. I told you guys earlier, you don't watch my YouTube enough. So vote right, vote for Trump. All of these are some of our favorite designs. Voted for the felon. All these are 80% off. The craziest sale I've ever had on Tatum Store. 80% off. This is great for Christmas. This is great to give a friend. Get on there. Get it now before it completely sells out. And once it's gone, it's gone. And let me tell you guys about Shenergy real quick, which is my supplement company that I created. And we're going to make America healthy again for sure. The day and the night is coming soon. But I want you guys to get on the list, okay? We'll put the link in the description section. Get on the list. Get yourself in line. I'm going to do something special for the people that sign up first. And we got T-Force that's coming out at the beginning of next month, which is in a couple weeks. And then Shenergy should be released at the end of the year or early in January. Night drink, you've never seen it before. The daytime drink, healthy. It tastes good. It's natural. All the things that you look for to make this country better. There's nobody in the market that's doing day and night at the same time. That's called complete energy, ladies and gentlemen. Use ashwagandha at night, a little bit of melatonin, not too much. We use magnesium as the primary to help you get good quality sleep so you wake up energized and refreshed. So go on to the links when you get off the live stream, click on them, hit notify me when made available when it comes to the Synergy products so you can be on the list. We already have over 200 people that have gotten on the list. And as soon as it launched, I'm going to do something special and give a big discount for the people that are on the list when we first drop. Everybody else going to have to pay full price. I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Whoopi Goldberg. Now, Whoopi Goldberg, they call her Whoopi Smollett because she completely lied, just like all the people of the Militant do when there's no real evidence of discrimination and racism. They just go on a rant and lie. Now, we noticed that they tried to take the episode down on Whoopi Goldberg's birthday because she could get sued for defamation and lying. What these elites do is they think they can bully you. They come out, they make outlandish claims against you, and they're hoping that they're bigger than your voice. And so what happened is the people at this bakery decided that they're going to come out and let their voice be heard and call Whoopi Goldberg on the carpet because she completely lied about her not receiving service, which she did receive service, and about them delaying service because of her race or her political views, which wasn't true. There's no unequivocal evidence. And it tells you right now that they took it down because they know Whoopi Goldberg tripping. But we got it. This is the clip, right? We got the clip. Nick went and found it. They took it down. Roll it.
Welcome back. My birthday dessert today was one of my mom's favorites from when she was a kid. And she talked about these all the time. They're called Charlotte Russe. And it's a sponge cake with whipped cream and a cherry on top. Now, I should tell you, Charlotte Russe has no political leanings. And the place that made these refused to make them for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What? Oh,
no. Let me explain. They said that their ovens had gone down, all kinds of stuff, but folks went and got them anyway, which is why I'm not telling you who made them. But can't be because I'm a woman, but perhaps they did not like my politics. Yeah. But that's okay because you know what? Listen, this is my mother's celebration. Yeah. Pick these up and celebrate with me and my mom. Thank you, everyone, for celebrating my birthday today. I want you all to have a great day. Take a little time to enjoy the view and never let folks get you down.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. They finna lose their whole show. Let me tell y'all what really happened. The bakery in question is identified as Halterman's Bakery in Staten Island, where she's alleging that they denied her service. The owner, named Jill Halterman, explained that the initial hesitation accepting Whoopi Goldberg's order was due to a technical problem with their boiler, not political reasons. And despite these challenges, this is why she didn't tell y'all where they got the things from. Because it says right here, despite these challenges, the bakery eventually fulfilled the order, producing 50 treats for Whoopi Goldberg's celebration. That's why she didn't tell you how they got them. Because allegedly, according to what we researched, is that the owner of the bakery said they had problems with the boiler, but they still fulfilled the order. They still did what she asked them to do. That's how these people work, man. They know they ain't got no justification. There's nobody going to. Conservatives don't do that. You can't find any evidence that conservatives will come out and not serve somebody because they're liberal. Never seen it. You probably never will see it. Democrats kick people out of class. They kick people out their family. I mean, you name it, Democrats do that. And so when she said it, I say, this is Jussie Smollett. This is a lie from the pit of hell. I knew it when she said it. We got the clip of the baker speaking out, correct? Yeah, we got the president and the bakery on there. All right, let's put that on the screen. So just in case y'all think I didn't make this up and me and Nick over here just making up random stuff, here's the clip. Roll it.
What's happening? Whoopi Goldberg causing problems for a bakery, and now a Staten Island bureau president is speaking. Let's watch.
And I think the bottom line here is after we're going to call up Jill, who has had to endure something that she shouldn't have to endure. These people are up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning. The sacrifices they've made, the holidays they've missed with their families. To make Staten Island better, they have sacrificed for 145 years. Rutherford B. Hayes was the President of the United States, for God's sakes. And they're still here, and they're still strong, and they're not going anywhere, despite what other people on television have to say. And frankly, the people who defamed the Holterman family should apologize to the Holterman family for making stuff up to suit their needs. Not everybody wakes up every day and thinks about politics. A good business person doesn't care about anybody's politics. So with that, I'd like to call up Jill Holterman Bowers. She deserves 110% support. Jill, come on.
Hold on, before Jill get on there, I don't know if I said her name wrong. Did I say Holtman? I meant Holterman. I was looking at this, and I wasn't looking at it right. So if I mentioned her name incorrectly, forgive me. I think I said Holtman instead of Holterman. All right, continue.
It's a community that I have to tell you, I'm so overwhelmed by the support between finding out yesterday this even happened, getting phone calls, and then people coming in, people from all over just supporting us in every way. We had phone calls yesterday from Alabama. Guy says, I'm going to give you $50, send it to a school, send them donuts, send them cupcakes. The support has been so overwhelming, and I know how hard my family has worked to keep this business alive, and I wish my father was here today to see this. He would never believe it. My bakers come in 2 or 3 in the morning just to have donuts and rolls for everybody to come in and say, we have the best rolls ever. And you know what? It took my whole family. It takes everybody, the community that comes every day to see us. We have this everyday conversation with everybody. How's the family? How's this? This is what makes Holterman's Holterman's. It's the community, it's my fellow everything that come out, and us giving back to the community that makes this go round. And if it wasn't for you and Staten Island to make this work, we still wouldn't be here today. So I know my brother, Billy, work hard. Joe, my baker in the back, is here 6 days a week. He gives his heart and soul to this place. And you know what? My father always said, you do what you love. I'm telling you, this is my heart, and I thank you so much for everybody come out and support us with the Holterman family. It means the world to me. It really does. Thank you so much. Oh, I wish my father was here.
It's all good. It's all good. The goodness prevails. And just a little background for those who know, they had a boiler here. Again, it's been here 145 years. They had a boiler that was 60 or 70 years old. And the first week in November, guess what? It went on the fritz. They had to be replaced. And the reputation of Holterman's is impeccable, so rather than commit to something they couldn't guarantee, they said we can't do it. And the person who besmirched and defamed them took that as an insult to her. Well, get over it. This family will be here for, God willing, another 145 years. And as Jill said, it's her family, it's the Staten Island community, it's the elected officials. And I hope if you're watching this across the country, go online and order something. And
All right. So according to what we have gotten here, they said they ended up fulfilling the order anyway. He said that they said they couldn't do it. I don't know what the confusion is between the two statements, but it was a statement that said that they finished the 50-treat order for Whoopi Goldberg's celebration. And then, the guy, he may not have got a chance to finish his sentence. And he said that they couldn't do it. I think that they probably relayed to her that we got the boiler thing is messed up. We'll figure it out. And maybe them doing it, maybe they got another bakery to fulfill it for them. And Whoopi Goldberg is acting a fool because they couldn't fulfill the order, maybe at that location specifically. So this is what the left does. They make up lies. Sunny Hostin not too long ago said that somebody called her and her son. She got called 3 times the N-word, her and her son at a beach in Miami. Or a beach somewhere in Florida on the coast. And we all know that never happened. You know, like, first of all, you look at Sunny Hostin, you don't think she's black. I mean, when you first look at her. And I looked at her son, and that dude like a Mexican. Somebody just randomly, like, from 50 yards away, that's Sunny Hostin. You in? And then somebody down there, you in? If I ever seen somebody do that, I'll fall out this chair. If I seen somebody calling the host an in, 3 different people that don't know each other. It didn't happen. They just made that stuff up. They made it up. They made it up. They made it up. Thank you all for super chatting. For those of you who just super chatted again, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. Do you think that rhinos will confirm RFK? I think they will. I don't see how Republicans don't confirm everybody that Trump wants. We control the House and Senate. I don't think that any of these people will have a problem being confirmed. There are some rhinos, but I think there's more Trump supporters than rhinos in this administration. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to make this show about an hour. We got a couple more things I want to talk about. Let's jump on to Chris Wallace real quick. Chris Wallace was released from CNN, and there's a bunch of reasons why. Let me articulate real quick the reasons that we have written down. It says details of Chris Wallace's departure, and CNN is as follows. Program cancellation. Wallace was informed that his 2 shows, Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, which is a good question, and the Chris Wallace Show will be canceled due to low ratings. Also, salary reduction. As part of the cost-cutting measures under the CEO, Mark Thompson, Wallace's $7 million annual salary was cut or was set to be significantly reduced. Also, shifting to digital platforms, Wallace expressed interest in exploring opportunities in podcasting and streaming, aligning with the industry's move towards digital media. So pretty much this guy who I think has been failing ever since Trump hurt him, he hurt him. You know, by saying fake news, Donald Trump pulling notes out of his pocket and stuff and showing that Chris Wallace is biased. Many of these news organizations on the left, and we're going to play the clip here in a second, many of these news organizations on the left are going to have a cold day in hell, reconciliation. Because what they've been doing for the longest is they've been lying to the people, lying to the people, lying to the people. People have been watching them and having hope that Donald Trump is going to fall off a cliff and go to jail. This is what they've been pitching and promoting. And then when the rubber meets the road, this stuff never happened. They are liars. Donald Trump won in a landslide. And so people are starting to lose trust in them. Real quick, super chat, somebody said, who's going to win, Mike Tyson or Jake Paul? I'm rooting for Mike Tyson. I do not want to see Mike Tyson in his illustrious career and legacy get knocked out by Jake Paul. Now, I don't know if Jake Paul's, persona is to be a jerk and all that, but he definitely is coming across that way. Let's see, Buff Like Jesus. Let me give you a shout out for your super chat. It says, real funny how quickly liberals get over their hatred for me when their boiler, water heater, and AC isn't working. All right, let's roll the clip of Chris Wallace and Donald Trump, and this is probably why his career was ended. Roll the clip.
We have the 7th highest mortality rate in the world. Our mortality rate is higher than Brazil. It's higher than Russia, and the European Union has us on a travel ban.
Yeah, I think what we'll do, we have them on a travel ban too, Chris. I closed them off. If you remember, I was the one that did the European Union very early. But when you talk about mortality rates, I think it's the opposite. I think we have one of the lowest mortality rates in the world. We're going to take a look.
We had 900 deaths on a single day.
We will take a look.
This week.
Ready?
You can check it out.
Could you please get me the mortality rate?
Yeah.
Kaylee's right here. I heard we have one of the lowest, maybe the lowest mortality rate anywhere in the world. Do you have the numbers, please? Because I heard we had the best mortality rate.
Don't play with Trump, bro. Don't play with Trump.
Number one low mortality rate. I hope you show this in here because it shows what fake news is all about. Okay,
I don't think I'm fake news, but we'll put
there you were.
We'll put our stats on.
You said we had the worst mortality rate in the world, and we have the best.
Just spanking him. Donald Trump spanking him. I love when he pull his notes out. They have somebody. It's just funny because he's just a normal person. These people are so kooky and wacky that when a normal person just does something normal, they look so terrible. It's impossible if you are a legitimate news and media organization for you to say that we have the worst mortality rating in the world. And we actually have the best. It's not like he said we are second to last and we were actually third from last. It's not like we were 20 percentile and we were actually 30 percentile or something like that. It is literally the opposite end of the spectrum. They're pushing and promoting and scaring people into believing that we have literally the highest mortality rate in the world. And people are thinking about third world countries and everything. And we actually have the best. That is a flat out lie from hell. And Chris Wallace, that's why they let you go. $7 million is going down the drain. And all these other idiots that's on that network, they're going to all see plummeting ratings as Trump's administration continues. I'm telling you they are. I can predict it. I'm the smartest guy in the world. But it's easy, in my opinion, to predict what's coming to them. When you have been lying to people and projecting that Donald Trump is going to lose this election and that Hillary Clinton is close, your ratings, your projection, you had people on TV every day calling him Hitler. You had people on TV every day saying that he botched 2020. You had people every day saying all this stuff. Wait till J6 stuff come out. You had people every day doing this stuff. And then they're going to realize that it was all a hoax. It was all a lie. These people were pushing propaganda for the Democrat Party and not informing the people like they should have. That stuff is going to come out, and I cannot wait for it to come out. I'm gonna be elated that these people fall, and they fall hard. Let me get a couple super chats real quick, and then we're going to move on to our next topic. Andre, thank you so much for another super chat. Whoopi is completely slime. I bumped into her in an elevator when I was younger, and she was an absolute snob. Ever since that, I couldn't stand her at all, even before knowing her delusional political views. That's funny that you say that because a lot of these people are snobs. When you see somebody that's out of touch with reality, they're typically snobs. They think they're better than everybody. They think they know everything. They think you're a peasant because you don't have the money they do or the status they do or whatever the case may be. These people are snobs. There's not one person on planet Earth that ever ran into me anywhere that could say that I was mean to them or I was a snob. Anybody that has ever spoken to me, even when I'm sitting with my wife at dinner, we're out at a restaurant and somebody over the balcony was like, Officer Tatum, and they came up to me and I got up from the table because my wife is fine with it. She know people love and support me. And my support to people that love and support me is to say hello and be kind. You know, it's not like I'm at a wedding rehearsal or something and I got to wait till after I'm done. It's that we're just eating, having fun on a Saturday night, and I take pictures and everything. Because I do genuinely appreciate people. I do love people. That's who I really am. I'm not just doing this for the cameras. And you know, there's conservatives that's like that too. So let's not get it twisted. Let's see. Ready to Sleep. Thanks so much for the super chat. Hi, Tatum. Love your show. I was curious if you watched any of the Laken Riley trial today. God bless. And I keep you and your family in prayer. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yep, we got that on the agenda. Matter of fact, it is. Let's talk about that one next. Are we going to be able to do that, or you want to go to Brandon Johnson real quick? So we're going to go to Laken Riley real quick because we had it on the agenda to talk about. And so we'll talk about Laken Riley, and then we're going to go to Brandon Johnson, and then I got to get home to my family. So it's so many things to talk about. I may do a few. So let's go to the news clip. Is this the one where they do the 911 call? I don't know if I want to listen to the 911 call. Okay, this one doesn't have it. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, I listened to that 911 call earlier, and it turned my stomach, and it made me angry, and it made me feel emotional, and I didn't want that. And I know a lot of people that's not used to hearing stuff so heinous. You probably don't want to hear that. Maybe on another time, or you know, when we reproduce this, maybe on Rumble, we'll add that part in here so you guys can listen to it if you like. But we're not. I don't want to listen to it because I heard it earlier, and it bothered me that man did Laken Riley like that. And these Democrats, wait till the trial is going, and people are going to watch this trial, and they're going to see how heinous this guy was. This illegal alien that should have never been in our country. That I think he got deported a couple times. He had committed other crimes, and the fact that at the State of the Union they didn't even address this. They said, say Laken Riley's name. And Joe Biden called her Lincoln Riley, like the football coach. He didn't even know who she was. Didn't have a plan to bring her up. Didn't say nothing about her family or nothing. These people didn't care. This was one of the most heinous crimes by an illegal alien in American history. And they didn't bring it up. They don't want you to hear about it. Roll the clip.
Trial is underway for the man accused of killing Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. Body camera video played in court today shows the moment officers found the 22-year-old's body. The killing added fuel to the national debate over immigration when authorities announced suspect Jose Ibarra was in the U.S. illegally. ABC's Morgan Norwood is following that trial for us. And Morgan, let's start with this body cam video. What did it show, and what other testimony have you heard so far today?
Hi, Diane. Good to be with you. Yeah, we know that court just broke for recess just a short time ago, but I kind of want to give you a run-through, or a rundown, rather, of what we've heard throughout the day, beginning with opening statements, because I think those were really poignant moments in the beginning of this trial. The prosecution told the judge, and painting this picture to the judge, saying that Jose Ibarra had this all planned out, right? They say that he essentially went hunting for women to sexually assault at UGA back in February, and then found Laken Riley on her morning jog. It was routine for her, brutally beat her to death, and then strangled her allegedly when she tried to get away back in February. So in terms of the evidence presented today and the testimony, we do hear that body camera video to point out it was too graphic to be shown, but it essentially details the moment that authorities found Laken Riley's body on that trail. The officer who found her can be heard frantically calling for backup, starting several rounds of CPR, but to no avail. We did see Jose Ibarra listening in. He had on headphones. We also saw that officer as well, and you could tell at times it was really difficult for him to listen back to that moment. That officer also testifying and telling a judge that Laken's clothing had been partially removed and describing how she had been found. Really graphic details there. We also heard the 911 calls, Diane. I mean, this is just a buildup of evidence as they try, the prosecution rather, tries to illustrate this tragedy to the judge.
Where is the defense trying to raise reasonable doubt so far?
Yeah, so the defense, of course, is calling this a tragedy, right? They say that the evidence that the prosecution has raised so far and will show, it says that Ibarra, it says that this evidence here is circumstantial. And they also accuse them of exploiting this tragedy, right, amid the national immigration debate that you pointed out at the top of the show, in which, of course, we know Republicans and Democrats have leaned heavily into in the months before the November election. We expect them to really refute and lean into how this evidence was gathered, Diane. They also claim that there was little biological or physical evidence to tie Ibarra to this scene. So it'll be really interesting to see how they navigate and how they litigate this case over the next few days.
And Morgan, we know Ibarra waived his right to a jury trial, so this will be up to the judge. Walk us through what you're expecting from the rest of this trial as they lead up to the judge making that decision.
Hold on before you get to that point.
So it's going to look a little.
Let's talk about a little bit of the forensics real quick, because according to the forensic evidence that was found, it says prosecutors, they highlight that Riley's resistance led to the collection of forensic evidence linking this dummy to the crime. It says this incident where the dummy's DNA was found under Riley's fingernails, blood stain on the jacket, and his fingerprints, the dummy's fingerprints on her phone. Now, they have a 911 call. They can place the time in which this occurred. And if they find signs of a struggle, blood, DNA skin sample under her fingernails, his fingerprints on her cell phone, which they can go back and listen to the cell phone 911 call where he was trying to take the phone away from her because he got charged for that, trying to obstruct her from calling 911. All of that circumstantial evidence will put him away for the rest of his life. Easy. I could prosecute that case. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. How many Democrats are going to come out and give condolences or mention Laken Riley? How many are going to do it? How many are going to post pictures and anything showing support of this young woman's family and talk about her tragic death? Nobody. Oh, but George Floyd to get all the coverage. When I think Laken Riley's death was more tragic than George Floyd. Think about this for a minute. Let's put this together. George Floyd got funerals when all of y'all had to sit outside and couldn't see your mama die in the hospital bed because of the Fauci ouchie, the Chinese virus. But that fool got 2 funerals where all the celebrities can come together from all over the country to go and attend his funeral. He got statues. They want George Floyd laws. They did all of this for this guy when he was resisting arrest and a cop was overzealous. That's it. That's all that happened. Laken Riley was targeted This guy was searching for somebody to take advantage of. He was searching for him. He found her. He brutally beat her to death. She fought for her life for 18 minutes. She tried to call 911 to no avail. She was brutally beat to death. You know, beat to death, people done got beat up pretty bad. When somebody beats you till you die, that's brutality. That's something that's they're in the courtroom, they're going to have pictures and they're going to put it all up there. They're going to present that. And I don't know if they'll present it because they don't have a jury, but they probably will present it to the judge. It's going to be visible. Somebody's going to have to look at it. The prosecution had an opportunity to look at it. The defense is going to have to talk about it. But they're going to show her mangled body that this illegal alien who's a criminal targeted and killed her. That's a lot more tragic, and that's a lot more graphic and gruesome than what happened to George Floyd and some of these other idiots that were killed by police justifiably. And they won't even bring her name up. Young men getting killed in the middle of the street, they won't bring their name up. They won't talk about it. They won't do any of it. And it's a shame. My hope is that they put this guy to death. Now, I don't know if they still have the death penalty in Georgia, but when you premeditate to do this to a young lady and you are illegally in this country and you have prior criminal behavior, the next minute, the next morning, I think they shouldn't have due process if you're an illegal alien in America. You're not a citizen. You don't have rights to the Constitution of the United States of America because you're not a citizen. So you don't have due process. All they need is a little circumstantial evidence, and that should be enough to put you away. That's how I feel. You're illegal. You're not a citizen. This don't apply to you. Essentially, you're a domestic terrorist, and they should treat you like one. All right. Let's see how the left proceeds with this. Let's talk about Pete Hegseth real quick, and then we're going to go to the black mayor of Chicago, who's a complete idiot, Brandon Johnson. After Lori Dirtyfoot, they picked another idiot that's even dumber than she is. But let's talk about Pete Hegseth, because this woman right here, the devil of the melanin is what I call them, the devil ones, the evil ones. This woman should get sued by Pete. And I think that there's talks that he will sue her, allegedly. There's 2 black women we have evidence of that's doing that. This is insanely racist, unfounded, and this is defamatory. I don't know how a lawyer can't get on immediately and file charges, or not charges, but at least a lawsuit against her for defaming Pete's character. There is no evidence, not circumstantial, not legitimate evidence. There's no compilation of evidence that would suggest that Pete is a white supremacist. There is no substance whatsoever, and it's defamatory to the man's character. He honorably served in the military, and he was selected by a legitimized president. Listen to these ignorant people of the melanin. One of the people that voted for Democrats at 80-something%. Roll the clip.
The Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth, the Fox News commentator as well, because this is someone who, weekend host, important distinction. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
Y'all hear what she said, right? I want y'all to hold that in the memory bank. She said his book is opposition of black men going up the ranks. Saying that you don't believe in race promotions and it should be merit-based is not you hating the advances of black people in the military. You're not a white supremacist because you believe Martin Luther King's dream. Martin Luther King said it. How do you become a white supremacist if you agree with Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King said he had a dream, and we all know what his dream was. That one day you're going to be judged by the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Martin Luther King said it. That's the darling of the left. And if a black man believes what a white man believes what Martin Luther King said, somehow to the left, he's a white supremacist. That's insane to me. Do we got another clip? let's play the other clip here, and then we got Scott Jennings defending, rightfully so, defending Pete's character. Roll the clip. And who knows if she really black? They just be throwing people up here. People be mixed with all kind of stuff, and they black. They black. When did black people accept this? She ain't no different than Rachel Dolezal. Roll the clip.
That Donald Trump is actually saying that a power explicitly given the U.S. Senate to confirm or refuse to confirm these nominees, he wants to bypass. That's an explicit power the Constitution reserves to the Senate. So to Bill's point, this is the first test of whether this, of how the Senate, including Senate Republicans, decide what side they're on, whether they're on the side of the Constitution of the people or whether they're on Donald Trump's personal side. And, we should also say one of the things that's so important in this function, in this role, is the people of this country should have some understanding of who's going to be making decisions about their daily lives. Because let's remember, like when we're talking about the secretary here and Hegseth and his white supremacist and extremist tattoos on his body, he is also a person, if he is in this job, who will be having the discussion with Donald Trump about sending the military into communities to police U.S. citizens. This is something that Donald Trump has said explicitly. It's a power he has wanted to use. It's one of the warnings we heard from the Joint Chiefs in his administration when he was president before, and it's in Project 2025. And so it's not just that position, it's also health and its implications for people's daily lives. But the United States of America is based on some transparency and accountability and checks and balances. And if we throw them out of the window, to Bill's point, it's not only that it offends the Constitution, but we will feel that pain, that danger, and that lack of protection in our daily lives.
I can't stomach these people at times. You have to be the craziest, most deranged woman on planet Earth to say the things that this woman just said. I just can't believe they still saying Project 2025. That's defamation. In my opinion, they're defaming Trump. They're saying he's associated with a document that I don't know what's in the document, but they're saying he's associated with a document that he said he wasn't associated with. And people that wrote Project 2025 is saying he's not associated with it. And they continue to push that rhetoric on television every single day. That to me should be a crime. At some point, you can't push false propaganda to trick people. How do they have their license to broadcast on a national network when they're completely spewing complete lies? And they're saying this guy got racist tattoos. Which tattoo does he have that's a white supremacist tattoo? He showed one on his chest and it was a cross. It was like a Catholic cross. Yeah, for the Catholics in the house. It was like a Catholic cross. But somehow it became a white supremacist symbol. I just don't understand. Trump is gonna use the military against the American people. That is a flat out derogatory, fire in the freaking movie theater type of a lie. If the president was genuinely and authentically going to use the military against the people, against the Constitution of the United States of America, he is a threat to the country, and people should be eager to take chances with eliminating the possibility of him running the country. That's the way she's articulating that. And that's dangerous. And they spew it time after time after time after time after time. People have attempted on his life. They keep going time after time after time after time. I do not know how these people can still be on television and say stuff like this. And I think that the American people have woken up to this, right? The American people are done with this. They already spoke. Y'all have tried this so much. You call them all kind of names. People are not catching on to this. They don't want nothing to do with this. You guys are making these terms null and void. When everybody's a racist that you disagree with, nobody's really a racist. I'm glad that they're continuing to do this because it's just further showing their lack of reasonableness. And that's why they're losing elections. Let's go to Scott Jennings real quick. And let's play the clip of him obviously defending Pete Hegseth. We got it. I think we're still working on getting it. I think we have it in the arsenal. Oh, we have it here. Roll the clip.
Anyone have confidence in the current leadership of the Pentagon and the way the defense situation has been operating for the last several years? I mean, from the Afghanistan pullout, which was an extreme debacle for which no one was held accountable. We've had spy balloons flying over the United States. We built a $300 million pier as a public relations stunt, which wound up killing an American service member. I'd say I've had just about enough of the so-called insiders running the Defense Department. I think we ought to give Pete Hegseth a chance because he's got two insiders. All the criticism of him is that he's not the expected Washington pick, and I'm just saying to you that the American people just voted against the expected Washington pick. So he's got 20 years in service. Afghanistan, Iraq, 2 Bronze Stars, Princeton, Harvard. Yeah, he's on TV, but so are the rest of us.
By the way, that list you just gave,
I think he ought
that
to
list
be
you just gave is really interesting because you highlighted a bunch of things that the civilian leadership of the country decided on. In the military, their job was just to execute. They execute.
How did it go?
I'm just saying. How
did it go?
In terms of the decision making, you're assigning decision making responsibility to the military over things that civilians were responsible for.
So you make a good point. The civilian leadership made decisions, and then the people they put in charge of the Pentagon carried it out. And it was all pretty much a disaster. So now we have a new president who I think got elected in part because of some of those disasters, and he's going to put in some of the non-insiders in charge of not just this agency, but a bunch of them. Now, look, they've got to perform. They've got to perform. I mean, we've got 53 U.S. senators that are Republicans. And Pete Hegseth, he's an American hero. The man won 2 Bronze Stars for his service, and he's been a champion for veterans. He's going to have to go up there just like everybody else and prove his knowledge of how to do this job. He's not immune from that, but we ought to give this man a chance, in my opinion.
What else we got to say, Nick? I don't know what else to say to this. Scott Jennings is making so much sense and make me want to cry a little bit. Give the man a chance. How do you poo-poo somebody with 20 years of experience in the military? I don't understand the logic of these people. How do you act as if a person isn't qualified when they have Bronze Star medals? Let's go over this real quick. How does a person get a Bronze Star? Okay, Star medal. My freaking computer isn't it? The United States Armed Forces decorated a decoration that recognizes heroic and meritorious service and achievements. It is the 4th highest combat award in armed forces. He's gotten 2 of them. I just don't believe that they just handing these out here like candy bars. I just don't believe that. The man got a bronze, he got 2 of them. How did he get started? If the man, on the TV the other day, one of them leftist nut jobs said he only had like 5 years of service. That's grossly inappropriate to poo-poo on this man's service, like 20 years, Bronze Stars. He served the country honorably. Just because he got another gig on Fox News don't mean the guy don't know what he's talking about. If you ever listen to him speak, he understands what's going on. And if you ask me, the people that are doing the grunt work in the military and in the police department are the ones you ought to be listening to, not the people at the top of the food chain. Many people who are in higher positions like lieutenant, captain, chiefs, deputy chiefs, a lot of these people have drank in the Kool-Aid. And they get in these high-power positions and they don't understand the rigor of the boots on the ground. And so you get a guy who served pretty much grunt work for 20 years, honorable discharge, medaled discharge, and then you say the man don't know nothing about military anything. I'm just shocked and appalled. Anybody with common sense know people can pad their resume. People, especially, I would argue that the military probably does this to a certain degree because I see it done in almost every aspect of life. They get a person and they deem that they want this person to be elevated. So they say, hey, go to this unit, get this medal, go to here, do this, kiss butt, do that. And eventually you got 40 years and all kind of credentials because they want to make the person of the melanin credentialed and make them look good. But that don't mean that you're serious, and that don't mean that you understand what's going on. If you are in a position of authority and power and you botch a situation that costs the lives of the American people, you're going to lose your job. I don't know what other way to say it. You deserve to lose your job. In some cases, you deserve to go to jail if it's malicious. But anyway, I got one more thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to get up out of here. I want to talk about Brandon Johnson real quick. Let's talk about Brandon Johnson because I think it's notable. It should be noted that this idiot that is running Chicago, he's a Chicago mayor. This guy is worse than Lori Dirtyfoot. They call her Lightfoot, but she a dirty foot, nasty foot, slew foot, club foot, right foot, left foot, club foot, whatever you want. Big foot. I don't know. That lady had clown shoes on one of them press conferences. I say, boy, who put Beetlejuice in at mayor in Chicago? Homegirl had the Beetlejuice shoes. And if she wasn't all awkward enough, that she married a white woman. These people swear that white supremacy, and they go marry a white person. I don't know a single politician that's in a higher power other than maybe one or two that are married to the people of their race. And they advocate that the white man and white supremacy is taking over, but they're creating the white generation. What's her name? Vice President Kamala Harris, white man. Who did she vote for? A white man. Who did she make as her VP? A white man. Don Lemon, white man. Jean Pierre, I think she was a white woman. Clubfoot, Lori Dirtyfoot, white woman. Who else we got? Van Jones, I looked at one of his girlfriends. I had to look. Van Jones' last serious woman was a white woman, at least when I looked it up. Maybe he had a few a few other women in between. We could go down the list. AOC, white man. She was a white dude. Who else can I think about that's on the left that talk all this shenanigans and they married to white people? I could probably keep going if I think long enough. All right, let's get to the clip of them just blasting Mayor Johnson. He deserved every minute of the backlash from the black community. Now, let me preface this because I don't want people to think that Brandon Tatum is being disingenuous. This is a small minority of black people, but most of the common sense is coming from these black people. So it's a minority, but this is where all the brains at, right here. Roll the clip.
Good afternoon. I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson, you underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side, too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago? That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. We're going to turn red.
Y'all can bird dog me all y'all want, but if it's relationship over duty, then y'all don't serve the blue. And you can smirk all you want.
Mr. Sims, direct your attention towards me, please.
You're a criminal. Why do I got to address you? The feds need to address you. DOJ need to address you, and hopefully Donald Trump will address you. Because you're going to protect the undocumented. Why you going to allow for the citizens in Chicago to suffer under your, 33%? See, Joe Lopez cooked that 3% up a long time ago. Y'all called it a circuit breaker. Y'all been talked about it. Remember, before you came in here and gave that jovial speech, you need to be inspected. You and that creep over there.
Acting like, you just gonna bully everybody. You got people, officers whose families don't even want you to come to the funeral. You just like a schoolyard bully. That at some point, and you might not know nothing about it because you grew up in Elgin, but those of us who grew up on the south side and west side of Chicago, we all know that at some point that bully gets cornered in the alley and everybody come at him and he ain't gonna have nobody to help him. That's you. That's you. Keep thinking you ain't gonna abide by what the President of the United States said. Everybody know better than that. I see you, Anna Valencia, in your red. You know what it is. This is the second time you showed up in City Council in red. You know what it is? Yeah. Yeah. So you and the rest of them that know what time it is, y'all come on. You leave that loser where he is. He's a loser. He's a loser. No, me and Zoe, we ain't doing nothing for nobody except for ourselves. We got you, loser.
14% rating is what you appear to have, Brandon Johnson, across the United States, or how they see you. But 14% rating. Now, I'm going to talk about all those known donations of $11.5 million that came from places like the CTU, the SEIU, the American Federation of Teachers, Illinois Federation of Teachers, and then someone got the nerve to get on there and talk about cutting the pensions. What about our real estate? Because, see, we paid for these properties for a purpose and not for you to go touching it with $300 million that you want to siphon out of the citizens' pockets. Get rid of the illegals, and that'll take your money right back. Start it off with that.
Hold on a second, y'all. So, as you can see, there are people that are disgruntled with Brandon Johnson, and I think that more people will come out and oppose him. This fool done said so many crazy things. He played a race card every chance he get. We got evidence and videos of him doing it. And then he comes out and supporting all them illegal aliens in the city. I'm surprised black people still vote for that guy. But he comes out and support these illegal aliens. Let's show. I want to go to something real quick because I'm done with Brandon Johnson. I want to show y'all that tattoo because we got a comment that articulated the tattoo. I want to show y'all the tattoo of that Pete have that make people say he's a threat to the United States of America. Nick, I can send you this in the Slack. Let me see real quick. I'm going to send you the link so you can pull it up. So this is when we put it up, you'll see the tattoo that they're saying. There's a name for the tattoo, and I don't want to say it wrong. Deuce Volt, is it Deuce Volt tattoo? How you say that, Nick? Sounds French. Duveau. Yeah, Duveau. Duveau. Duveau tattoo. Y'all know I can't read, but that's not Catholic, is it? Yeah, who knows? I probably should look up the origin of it, but this is what the tattoo looked like. We're going to put it up on the screen real quick. So this is what the tattoo looked like. The gentleman said it's not the crosses on his chest. It's the Duvault tattoo. Now, let me go and look at what this Duvault tattoo means real quick. It says the Duvault tattoo, ecclesiastical Latin, God wills it, is a Christian motto relating to divine providence. I can't do it. I can't do it. This is the search that came up. That this guy Duvault tattoo, if I'm saying it wrong, somebody help me phonetically. It means God wills it. It is a Christian motto related to the divine providence. And that sounds very Catholic to me. first chanted in 1096 during the First Crusade. And the man got a tattoo on his arm, and now they're saying he's a threat to democracy. He's a white supremacist. His tattoos are... all right, we'll end the show on this. These people are so insane. And I don't know how Christians support them. But people are dumb. And therefore they selectively identify things to make a person look bad because they're not on the side that they want them on. Your boy had a Watts. Thanks so much for the super chat. Watts is the one that brought it up. Your boy Tim Walz had stolen valor. And they rode his coattail and said he was a great man and shamed veterans and people who served with him for calling him out on his BS. But then they go after the good guy and say he's evil. But all right, y'all, I'm about to get out of here. I'm only supposed to do an hour, but we did an hour and a half. Let's do a promotion real quick, and then we'll let them go. So for everybody that's on here, in case you just now joining, we got a couple of things that I would like for you to do. Do we have the donation for the young man? I'll just talk about it. This Tatum store, but it's connected to Synergy. So for everybody that wanted to know how to go to Synergy, we'll put the link in the description section. You go to Synergylife.com. Synergylife.com, SHINERGY life.com. And then you can go and click the product that you want to be on the list for. You click that product. You just push the T in the middle to go back. You click the product, and you can put notify me when made available, and we will notify you when the product comes in. I got it, Nate. We'll notify you when the product comes in. But for those of you who want merch and you're looking to shop early for Christmas, if there's anything here that you love, some of your favorites, go on and get it now. It is 80% off. I had never had a sale. I might as well give it away for free. It's 80% off on all of these products that you see. And dang, man, y'all done bought so many of them that we had 2 pages of these. Now all of them are sold out. So if you're interested in any one of these, you better go get it down before it's completely sold out. And many of these are probably sold out in a lot of sizes. See, we just sold this one out. People probably bought this one for Christmas. We just sold that one out, so that one's going to be gone tomorrow. And we have some other ones. If you are interested in the sale, we do have a lot of other products here. And these are the Victory shirts. I actually have mine somewhere in here. You can get these online as well. So go on and support. And also, if you are in the military, let's go here. My wife got a store. You can go to her store. It's all on my website. Candace has a store. You can go in and purchase things from Candace's store right here on the website as well. All you just got to do, click add to cart. Here's the part that I want you to know. If you're a military personnel, first responder, student, teacher, healthcare worker, senior citizen, meaning 60 or older, commercial driver, or on government assistance, you get a discount on my store for life. All right. So all you got to do is go down to this section. You have to put your credentials in to prove that you are, in fact, in the military or a police officer, whatever the case may be. It is a secure system that credentializes or shows your credentials, and it will get you the discount code. You have your own special code you can use anytime you come to Tatum's store. Also, Save the Storks. I want to put this out there real quick for those of you who want to be a part of the Stork Nation. We made our goal to get our initial bus, which is a smaller bus like this. But I said, look, we might as well do it big. If we're going to do it, we got to do it big. So in Arizona, we're going to have the bigger bus, and it's the one that's twice the size of this. It's like the bus in the background. I'll go to it in a minute. And I think the bus up here is the older bus that I'm going to show you, but this is the newer bus that I actually toured, and I toured it in this video here. So you go on. What I want for you to do is $35 a month. Make the commitment if you want to be a blessing to a young family. At least $35 will help one woman in her journey. And when they get on the Stork bus, it's all free. They get free ultrasound, pregnancy tests, STD testing, and they don't have the whole panel, but it's a basic STD test. They have on the bus that we're trying to get. They're going to also have a place where women can get counseling and guidance and different things of that nature. And that bus looks something similar to this one. It's a bigger bus. It's probably going to be a more modern bus, but it's a bigger bus like this. You have a section in the front where women can come and get consultation and can have a conversation in the front, and in the back they'll do the labs and different things like that. When I say labs, I mean they'll do the pregnancy test and the STD test and different things like that. All right? And the ultrasound, which is most invaluable. So go on to there, and if you want to be a part of it, so many people have donated. We raised $160,000. So that means a lot of people were giving $35 a month. If you want to be a part, we put all the links in the description section. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching the show. Every weekday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to go live like this. If you somehow missed it, we cut some clips up so you can watch certain segments of the show so you don't have to sit through all of it. We do create chapters and different things so you can navigate. But follow me on the podcast, The Officer Tatum Podcast. You can find it wherever you find podcasts. We're also, for those of you watching on Rumble, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Rumble. Who knows? Eventually I might be on Rumble permanently. I don't know. Let me not say that to YouTube. Hey, y'all keep treating me by y'all. Stay here. Anyway, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out of here.